Ben Garcia is here from Little Alaska, New Mexico. How you doing, Ben?
Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. You are watching the Sunday live stream Meat and Potatoes, where I consolidate our Sunday live stream by including the meat and potatoes of the video and take the opportunity to answer some of the questions that I might have missed during our live stream. So let's get started. First, I want to start off by saying hello to Alphonse Jolly. Alphonse says, hello AP, first time getting on your live stream. Well, I want to welcome you, Alphonse, to our live stream, and I hope that you continue to join our live streams that are ahead of us. Alphonse also stated that he just ordered a 2,400 watt-hour Blue Eddy yesterday for $1,499, which, ladies and gentlemen, is an outstanding price. I just checked this, and it is still the same price. Now, you all know that I love the Blue Eddy, and you also know, if you are at the actual live stream, that I am going to be going over a solar generator later on this week that I think is a very good solar generator setup for a starter that doesn't have a lot of money. However, if you're sold on the Blue Eddy, I think this is a great time to go ahead and purchase one. They also have the Blue Eddy AC50S on sale for $429 minus a $60 coupon, which is a great price. So if you're interested in getting any one of these or taking a look at them, please use my Amazon link or my Blue Eddy link, as it will help to support the channel. Thank you very much, Alphonse, for the information and for the comment. The next one, I just wanted to go ahead and touch on this really quick. JT commented, if your microwave is above your stove, make sure that you measure the distance between your stove and the microwave before you purchase a pressure canner to make sure that it's going to fit in there. Now, I know this wasn't a question, but I wanted to cover it because it is a pretty important piece of information that you may want to have prior to purchasing a pressure canner. Now for our first question, CD asks, can you can spaghetti sauce without using a pressure canner? Well, CD, I have seen this before. I saw a video of an all-timer canning tomato sauce, not spaghetti sauce with all the spices and meat in it, but just tomato sauce. And what they did is they made their own tomato sauce from the tomatoes that they gardened, and then they heated up the tomato sauce really hot, like to boiling, and then they put it inside of jars. Once they put it inside of jars, they put the lid on, and then they put the ring on, and they turned them upside down on a table on top of a cloth until they cooled down. Now, the heat dissipation inside the jar, as it was cooling down, created a negative vacuum which helped to seal the jars. And from my understanding, those jars of tomato sauce were rotated every year, so they were expected to last at least 1 year on the shelf. The second question is from Jennifer Lee. Do you like cold packing or hot packing meat? Well, Jennifer, I use both methods for different kinds of meat and for different type of textures that I would like for whatever meal we're going to prepare for that meat. For example, if I am cold packing chicken, then I know that more than likely we're going to use that chicken to make chicken salad and or chicken salad sandwiches or some soups. If I'm hot packing chicken, more than likely we're going to use that chicken for like a dinner. So it would come out like with the texture of a roasted chicken. When it comes to beef, I also like to cold pack and hot pack beef, but for two different reasons. If I'm cold packing beef, it will be like beef roast. It comes out great in order to make stews and in order to make soups. However, if I'm hot packing beef, it'll more than likely be because I am making hamburger meat, which I intend to use for things like tacos. So those two different ways of packing, cold packing or hot packing, bring about different types of textures. Nishka asks, what days and times are you live on Patreon? Well, Nishka, normally we are live on Patreon and the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club at 5 p.m. every Tuesday. 5 p.m. Alaska time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. However, this coming week, we're going to switch it up to Friday, 5 p.m. Alaska time, because once a month I would like to switch it up to Friday in order for those that cannot make it to the Tuesday live stream, at least they can catch one live stream a month. Aunt Penny asks, can you explain the term grand solar minimum? Well, Aunt Penny, the grand solar minimum is just a cyclic weather event that occurs about every 400 to 450 years. However, instead of getting into that right now, take a look at your upper right hand corner on the screen right now. run your mouse over it and you'll see that I left a card to a video that I did on the Grand Solar Minimum not too long ago. Nancy Forster asks, if we haven't started getting gold and silver, what is the best way to buy? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, Nancy, but I can tell you this. Visit a local coin shop, if there is one in your area, and build a relationship of trust with the owner and or operator. If there is not a coin shop in your area, then there are several online precious metal stores that you can do business with. I promote SD Bullion because I'm affiliated with them due to their quality of service and the good reputation that they have as an online precious metals dealer. However, if you are purchasing for your first time, in my opinion, a good way to get started is by purchasing some constitutional silver, which is comprised of pre-1965, meaning 1964 and below, dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins. These have a purity of 90% silver and are very easy to barter with if it ever comes to that, and they hold just as much value in silver as any other coin their size that has the same amount of silver in it. So meaning that the silver in these coins is just as pure as any other 90% coin, or the quantity of silver within the coin is just as pure as any other silver in any other coin. Good question, thank you. A9 asks, does homeowner insurance cover precious metals stored at one's home? That is a great question, A9. Insurance companies are all different, but I know that the one that I have only covers a certain dollar amount of precious metals in your home, which is not much, but you can get a special insurance policy to cover the additional value that you have that your insurance company's minimum won't cover. I do highly recommend that if you are storing precious metals in your home, that you get a very good fireproof safe, the best one that you can afford, and only place it in a location that you and people that you completely trust know where it's at. So use your imagination, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Scorpio asks, AP, can you do a live stream on the basics of crypto? Well, Madam Scorpio, on this Friday's Patreon and ladies and gentlemen's live stream, I will be talking about how I have purchased some silver at very low premium prices and how to check to ensure that you are getting real silver. During that live stream, I can definitely go over some of the basics of cryptocurrencies. So hope to see you there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for all the questions. I hope that you enjoy the condensed version or the meat and potatoes of yesterday's live stream. Let's get started.
Let's see. I'm looking for Mr. Tom, okay? Now, to my moderators, if you see Mr. Tom in the chats, make sure that you leave him be, because Mr. Tom called me last week to apologize for trolling my channel as much as he has. So don't block him. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What we are going to talk about today is diversification, and that may seem like it is a very dry and boring subject, but let me assure you that it is not. I want to talk to you about being diversified in everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, being diversified in your preps and everything that you do for being prepared, and also for just everyday life. If nothing ever happens and you're diversified, that diversification is kind of like a blanket, an insurance blanket that keeps you safe when things fall apart. And look at this. I believe we have, is that survival preparedness for beginners? It sure is. Survival Prepare for Beginners just joined the Ladies and Gentlemen Club. So welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. If you guys are not subscribed to Survival Preparedness for Beginners, go ahead and check him out. You're going to love his live streams. His live streams are almost as good as mine. Just kidding. No, his live streams are great. All right. Very, very good guy and very well-spoken person who actually cares about getting the word out there for people to start preparing and be prepared. So go check him out. We have Just Jitsu just joined the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. So I think we're about 7 away from hitting that 100. So thank you guys. Truly appreciate that. So let me go ahead and get back to what I was saying about diversification. What do I mean by that? So this is really more for a person that's already, well into being prepared. If you're just now starting to prepare, this may not really benefit you as much because you still need to get your pantry full. You still need to get those basic things done. However, if you're pretty well prepared already, this is what I mean about being diversified in everything. And let's go ahead and start with food. So once your pantry is full of food that you always eat, food that you know you're going to eat because you eat it every day, you just have enough of it to fill your bellies for a year's time. How do you diversify that food? The way that you diversify that food is by now getting foods that can last long term. And there's two different food types that will last long term. You have foods that you can go get yourself, like your dry grains, like your rice, your beans, your oats, your wheat berries, your quinoa. I said it right this time. Your quinoa, things like that you can put away easily yourself for long term at a very low cost. All right, so that is a way of diversifying the foods that you already have in your pantry. Why? Because what that will do, what all of those grains will do is they will allow you to extend the length of the food that you have in your pantry. So for example, let's say you have a can of soup, a can of chicken noodle soup, let's say, and you have a whole bunch of rice put away. Well, guess what? If you cook some rice and you put that soup over that rice, it's going to be a complete meal that's going to fill you up, that's going to have all of the calories that you need to get through a half of a day, let's say. Excuse me, got an itch. All right. In addition to that, another way to diversify both of those foods, your long-term grains and your pantry foods, is by then purchasing long-term foods from a third party. For example, your Mountain House, Nutrient Survival, which is a great option for people that don't want to get a lot of sugar or salt in their long-term foods that they purchase from a third source. All right, you get those types of food. That way, if for some reason something happens to your regular pantry foods and your long-term grains and you can't get to them, then you'll have a food type or a food source that's kind of like a complete food. Although some of them I understand are high in sodium, high in sugar, things like that, but you can find those kinds that agree with you, that you would like to get. Then you can get those foods and have a third layer of food preps. So that is a good way to diversify the way in which you store food. Another great way to diversify the way in which you store food is to learn how to hunt, learn how to fish, learn how to raise your own animals, learn how to garden. So see, there's many different ways that you can use to get to the same outcome. And that's what I mean about diversification. I have to pause here because Daniel Chirac just became a member of the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. So thank you, Daniel, for joining the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. That's awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and then you can take that, you can take that ideology, I guess, of diversification and put it into everything. Diversify diversify the way in which you heat your home if you require heat in order to survive. And I'll give you the examples that I know best, the ones that I use. So for example, I have a main source of heat for my home, and that is what's called a Toyo stove that runs on diesel fuel or, fuel oil. It's the same thing. It's diesel fuel, just extra clean. It runs on fuel oil, but that requires electricity in order to run the machine. Right? So that's how I heat my home mainly. However, what I have as a backup or a diversified way of heating my home is I have an additional house heater that heats my entire home that doesn't require electricity, that is vented to the outside, so it's not consuming the oxygen that you breathe indoors, and it's not depositing any carbon monoxide indoors. It all goes outside. That works off of propane, which is a great source of heat because propane does not go bad. It will last forever. And then in addition to that, I also have 2 or 3 other heat sources that I keep outside of my home, but very easy to install them in my house should my first 2 go out. And ladies and gentlemen, in addition to that, we also have your finance. Financial diversification is just as important. I actually spoke to a very nice gentleman this morning about that. And what I mean about financial diversification is you've always heard me say that I keep enough funds in the bank to pay my bills for 3 to 6 months, let's say. Right? And after that, I go ahead and make sure that I take whatever funds I have left over or whatever excess wealth I have left over, and I diversify it into different worth preserving vehicles. All right. So instead of leaving my wealth in paper, I go ahead and take out what I'm not going to need for the next 3 to 6 months, and I turn it into things like gold, like silver. I even have a little bit of cryptocurrencies. Why? Because I like to be diversified. So those things that I diversify my wealth into, I don't consider them investments. I consider them a hedge against the dollar, a hedge against the system, and a hedge against government. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, I hope that you all have a great rest of your Sunday and have a good week ahead. I will be talking to you all again on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Alaska time, which makes it 7 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see you all then. Again, thank you very much to all of you for joining in. I truly do appreciate all of your support. Welcome to all the new ladies and gentlemen, to the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. So thank you very much for that as well. We'll be talking to the Ladies and Gentlemen's on Patreon this next Friday during our live stream. All right, so have a great week, ladies and gentlemen. I truly hope that you all stay safe and have a good week ahead. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. I'm the Alaska Prepper. God bless you guys. I'm out. Have a great day.